Butterick did it again. They did it. They killed the fall winter patterns, and your girl picked up a lot of them. So I'll be sharing that with you guys today. So if that's some content you would like to see, please continue to watch. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs. In this video, I'll be sharing with you guys the Butterick fall winter patterns that I picked up during the sale October 25th through the 28th. So it's just ended, okay? Now, if you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you are returning, you guys already know what to do. Go get you a quick snack, something to drink, grab your notebook to take some notes, if you would like to, all right? But I'm gonna keep this video short and brief, give you all the deets and the news that you can use on this video. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. All right, so your girl went to Joann's doing the Butterick and Vogue sale. The sale ran from October 24th through the 27th at my local Joann's. Butterick and Vogue was on sale during that time. So I decided to go in because I noticed that when they drop the patterns, they're sometimes in Joann's already. Now, I have seen the book already for the Butterick and Vogue patterns at my local Joann's. However, they didn't have them out on the floor. So let me tell you something. I seen boxes from Simplicity and I looked inside. And when I looked inside, they just had the Simplicity and McCall's pattern. But one of the Simplicity, if you missed my video about what I picked up on simplicity.com, it's only because they did not have my sides in the box, okay? I'm pretty sure now, as of the filming of this video, they probably put it out, but I already have it in PDF, so what's the point, right? So while I was looking during the Butterick and Vogue sale, they didn't have them out. So I decided to go ahead and take advantage of the fall sale, 70% off on simplicity.com, and I'm gonna be sharing that with you of the Butterick patterns that I picked up during the sale and which ones I'm gonna be sewing now, like now, okay? This year, the remainder of this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the Butterick. All of these are Butterick, and I'm gonna put all the pattern number, the pattern pieces, the number of pattern pieces you will need in order to construct the item up on the screen for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. All right, so the first pattern that I picked up is, all of these are Butterick, so let's just go ahead and tell the number. First one is 7005. Now this one is a button front dress. Now you guys know I do Battle of the Shirt dress, which we have a little twist coming in 2025. So just stay tuned for that. It will be back for another year in 2025 in the spring, and it will come with a twist. I know you want to know now, but y'all know how I do. I'll tell y'all that in the spring, all right? But this would be a really good one to use for hashtag Battle of the Shirt dress coming back in the springtime of next year. Now, I picked this one up simply because it's different. It gives me a vintage vibe without being super vintage, okay? So that's the real reason why I picked it up. Now, I could actually see you sewing this one up for the spring, summertime, but I'm not sewing it up right now, and I do not have this pattern slotted anytime soon. But once again, it's 7005. Moving over to the next pattern, which is 7006. Now 7006, I did tell you in the pattern drop, it reminded me of another pattern. I'll go ahead and put it up here on what pattern that it reminds me of. But this one, I could definitely see wearing this one as a work style dress or something like that. If you're in a business environment like myself, you know, I could see wearing this to an office or something like that. So that's why I went ahead and picked it up. I could also see this being made up in the spring, fall. I mean, you can wear it in the fall, you can wear it in the spring, you can wear it pretty much any time of the year. Now, I did mention to you guys before that we have 5 seasons here in Florida. So we have early spring, early summer, and then late summer, which is AKA fake fall. Fake fall is basically something that happens for about a week during hurricane season, and then it heats back up to 85 to 90 degrees, as if, you know, we're back in summer again. So a lot of us call it second summer or fake fall. So we do not have a fall. We definitely don't have a winter here in Florida. So that's our season. So we tend to sew a lot of spring and summer clothes. Only, I don't know many Floridians or those who stay in Florida, you know, from Central Florida all the way down to Southern Florida. Now up in the Panhandle, no shade to y'all, but it's a little different up there. It gets slightly colder up there, okay? Because even though you're in Pensacola or Tallahassee or Panama City, you pretty much live in Alabama, okay? So they call it the Alabama-Florida line, all right? So they may be sewing fall stuff, winter stuff, but Central Florida, from Jacksonville all the way down south to Miami, they're sewing spring and summer all year long, baby. All year long, okay? But once again, this pattern is 7006. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is 7007, which is the jacket and coat pattern. Now, this one, it was just screaming my name. And even though I can't sew it this year, I could definitely see this being made in the springtime in a nice, gorgeous plaid from my stash. Now, I'm not gonna be sharing the fabric with you guys because it's going to be part of a collection that I will share with you guys all at once. Now, because I've been using a lot of fabric from my stash, you guys will see the collections as they come up. Like right now, I'm working on my fall. I already showed you the fabrics for those, so I'm gonna stick with what I'm working on at the moment, all right? But once again, this is 7007, which is a Mrs. Jacket and Coat pattern. Love it. Let's go ahead and get into the next pattern. Next pattern is 7008. This is a kind of like an oversized bomber jacket. This one is actually lined. Well, if you think about it, I like my bomber jackets lined because you could turn it right side out and a wrong side out. You could actually, if you really think about it, you could really have a reversible bomber jacket. Okay, don't say I didn't tell you. Just make sure you use a reversible separating zipper in order to do so. Look that up, okay? Because I have made about 4 bomber jackets and each one is reversible. Okay, you're welcome. All right, so that's why I went ahead and picked this one up, 7008. Now, I do not have this slotted for this year. However, I can see definitely making this for pre-fall, aka fake fall of next year, all right? But once again, this is 7008. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 7009. Now this pattern, super easy to sew pattern, okay? And this one will be great if you do not work at home and you work in an office. You could definitely make this one up, minimal pattern pieces for sure, the pants and the top. Now, I could possibly slide this in sometime in December or first part of January because it's not that many pattern pieces. And this would be great for a work top. You could extend that top into a dress and you could go ahead and sew up the pants. So you could actually have a 3-piece set if you want to. All right. But once again, this pattern is 7009. It is basically a tunic and a pair of pants pattern. All right. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is 7010, which is a classic button-down shirt. Now, I like the fact that this is a color block. This pattern is slotted for Vlogmas this year in December. I am going to be color blocking it. I have all my fabrics. I'm going to be sharing, you know, my Vlogmas plans with you coming up on the channel. The things that I'm going to be sewing for Vlogmas to where you could tune in each day from December 1st through December 24th. It's going to be crazy in the month of November to batch film a lot of this content that I'm already planning in my head. And I'm just hoping that I could definitely execute it for you guys. All right. Because we know last year during Vlogmas, I was only able to give 8 videos because I started really late, like hella late filming for Vlogmas. But now I know what you need to do in order to do Vlogmas. This will be my 2nd year doing Vlogmas. So you need to plan ahead of time, which I'm giving myself a whole month in order to completely film, batch film, really is what I'm planning on doing. All right. But this is 7010, a classic button down shirt. I plan on sewing this together for the month of December for Vlogmas, and one of the colors will be some form of a blue. All right, blue and something else. I don't know what the other color will be just yet, but just stay tuned to see what I do with this top, or I should say button down shirt. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next. Next up is 7011. So this is another button down shirt, and you have view A, which reminds me of the New Look 6697 pattern that I did. It's a crop top, but this one is a little longer than a crop top. That's not what I'm here for. The one that I'm actually here for is view B. I want to make that in a classic, you know, kind of like a classic, but have that bow that you see on the front. I can see this made so many different colors. I do plan on making this. I don't know if I would make this for Vlogmas, but I can say confidently that I will have it made sometime by 2025 for sure. And with this pattern, just to be 100% honest with you, I want to sew it in a solid color. I don't know if I want to do it in pink. I could definitely see spring colors, pastel colors. So that's probably what I'm going to go with for this pattern. But once again, it's Butterick 7011. Moving over to the next pattern. Next up is 7012. Now this one is a jacket and pant pattern. This one, when I seen it during the drop, when I seen it on simplicity.com and I mentioned this during the drop, yes, this is definitely spring vibes for me, for sure. I don't know what color I'm gonna make it in. It's not slotted on my to sew list just yet, but I'm going to definitely put it on there. Yep. But once again, this is 7012. Moving over to the next pattern. Next up is 7014. Now this one was one that I actually said during the drop that I was gonna skip. But y'all was in the comment letting me know what y'all was gonna pick up. And I was just like, okay, listen, I do not give into peer pressure whatsoever. But some of these comments made sense for me to pick them up. And on top of that, my daughter was like, Mommy, I like that. She loves lounge wear. Now, even though I love loungewear, this pattern definitely reminds me of, I'm going to put it up on the screen, but I think it's Simplicity 9210. I think is the pattern number. And I was like, all right, I have that Simplicity pattern, but I went ahead and picked this up because I could actually sew it for her as well. So I went ahead and picked it up, and I think this will be great to do and just kind of lounge around on the couch watching a movie with a book or tablet or laptop, whatever, you know. So I went ahead and picked this pattern up, and I want to thank you guys who actually said and encouraged me to pick this pattern up during my drop video, simply because I'm going to put everyone's name up on the screen. Simply because at first I was just like, I don't know, because I could skip this. This is not something that I would make. Actually, I would make it for my daughter. I would actually make it for myself as well, but I felt like I had something similar, which was another Butterick pattern already. However, I think I would sew this pattern over the Butterick pattern that I call the house guest dress, okay? But once again, this is 7014. Moving over to the next pattern. Next up is the jacket pattern 7017. Now this pattern is a family pattern, and you guys know from time to time, I will sew something for the whole family. Not often, but I feel like these jackets will make sense to do by pre-fall next year or I could actually make one for myself next year during the fall, because I have some things planned for fall and some out-of-town events, all right, in 2025. So with that being said, this jacket is probably definitely what I need to make. But once again, that pattern is 7016. So I said 7017, but I do apologize to 7016. Moving over to the next pattern. Next up is 7017. Now this one is just a pattern with a set of sleeves. Now, the reason why I picked this pattern up is because for my blues board, I am going to be working on this one shoulder top. And it has like a ruffle. I'm not going to tell you guys the pattern number because you have to wait to see that. Now, actually, you know what? It's not a McCall's pattern. It's actually a Butterick pattern. I think I'm going to do this for the Butterick pattern instead of the McCall's pattern that I'm going to be working on for my blues board. So this Butterick pattern is sleeveless, and I'm going to throw some sleeves on that. Okay? Just bought the pattern not too long ago. It's a Butterick pattern. So I feel like that Butterick pattern definitely needs some sleeves on it, okay? For my blues board that's coming up November, December to end off the year. And it will also be part of Vlogmas. So you have to wait and see what pattern that will be, okay? Now, the sleeve that I want to put on this Butterick pattern, I'm not going to tell you if it's a dress, a top, a pair of pants. Like if I'm putting sleeves on it, am I going to really be putting sleeves on some pants? Exactly. It's going to be either a top or a dress. I'm just not telling you the pattern number, but I can definitely see the sleeves from view C on what I'm going to make. Top or dress. I don't know. I'm just not telling you the pattern. Okay. So don't comment below and be like, Rochelle, tell me that pattern that you're going to be doing. I'm not. You just got to wait to see. But this pattern will be used, okay, to go on a top or a dress. You'll know what pattern that is when the time comes, all right? But once again, it's 7017. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next up, it's no secret. We talked about this during the drop. I talked about vest. All right, so this one is 7018. It is a pattern with 4 different styles of vest. So like I mentioned, I need every last vest on this pattern. So before you ask, Rochelle, would you do a sew along for all the vests on this pattern? I don't know. I don't know if I want to do a sew along for each and every one of them, or do a sew along for 1, do a sew along for 2, do a sew along for all of them, or just not do a sew along at all. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just when the time comes for me to sew a vest, I'll decide on if I want to do a sew along or not. So we'll see. All right. But once again, it's 7018. Moving over to the next pattern. Next up is a vintage pattern. And this one is a 1950s dress pattern. This pattern is 7019, which is a missus dress, 1950s dress. Now, originally, I was going to skip this pattern. However, I decided to pick this vintage pattern up because RMorine, she thought this one was super cute, and I like this pattern as well. And then during that drop video, another one of my viewers said, that would look so cute in an Ankara print. And you know what? During the drop video, I actually said the same thing to myself, that this would look cute in an Ankara fabric. And I feel like I have the perfect Ankara fabric for it. Now, your girl's Ankara stash is bowling over. I'm sorry. It's like massive, okay? However, I feel like with just some subtle floral colors, I can make that thing sing. So with that being said, I will probably be using an Ankara print in order to make this pattern come to life. All right. I don't think I would do it in a solid. Just to be 100% honest, I think it definitely need some form of a print for my liking. All right. But once again, it's 7019. And for the viewer, I'm going to put you up on the screen that decided that, Rochelle, this would be amazing in Ankara. I want to thank you, because that's originally what I was thinking. So thank you for suggesting that to me. All right. So let's go ahead and move over to the last pattern. So the last pattern that I picked up is, of course, another 1950s vintage pattern. It's 7020, which is a coat pattern. Now, I know you're like, Rochelle, you stay in Florida or Florida, and you picked up another coat pattern, girl. What the heck was you thinking? Like I said before, you never know when it gets too chilly or you need to go somewhere where it's a little cold and you need a coat, okay? So I actually like this coat, and I could always make a coat, like a winter coat, lightweight by using some fleece. Now, we talked about this before because I have several coats that I have made in like a flannel or a fleece, and I just use some lining fabric to kind of make it a little bit more than just kind of, it's lightweight, but it's nice and warm, okay? So I normally use the cozy flannel fabric from Joann's. It'd be like $2.99 or whatnot. Don't tell nobody I told you that. But it's $2.99, and what I'll do is I'll take like some rayon challis to line my fabric, okay? And it's literally nice, buttery against that skin, okay? But yes, I definitely picked up 7020 as well. So yeah, those are all the patterns that I picked up. from simplicity.com during the fall sale, 70% off. Now, I'm just gonna put it right here. You guys be sleeping on the 70% off sale. One thing that I'm gonna say is New Look Pattern was on sale for $1.20 during the 70% off sale. Now, that is the cheapest I have ever seen New Look Pattern outside of the Hobby Lobby 99-cent sale, okay? You cannot get $1.20 patterns at Joann's. So if you missed out on that 70% off sale, next time they have a 70% off sale, make sure you go to the New Look Patterns and grab you a $1.20 pattern. Also, you may have been sleeping on Nomi patterns because the new ones that dropped was $3.35 for Raven's pattern. So if you missed that video, you could go back to the video before this one where I shared how the patterns that I picked up from McCall, Nomi, Vogue, and Simplicity. And a lot of those were, you know, $4.99, $3.99 as well. But if you missed out on the 70% off sale, you have to wait for the next one. All right. So just make sure you're doing your due diligence of looking at what it's going to be once you put it in the cart and hit the checkout, but do not put your information in. The cost will come off at the very end when you check out. All right. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. And if this video was educational, inspiring, and fun, don't forget to give your girl thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I would love to have you and join the family because it's family here. All right. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, keep sewing.
These weeks get split. Man better breeze than sprint. It's long if I choose to bite down on these pricks. X is a lyrical 4-4 in this, so make sure it's X that you wanna rally with. Oh, make a big man turn to a kid. Shout out skull when I splat out wigs. Never seeing X's with your eyes closed. Don't move past girls behind your eyelid. Bars and flows, check out their mixture. Told them man can't handle the fixture.